Hello, everyone. Welcome to theCUBE here in our Palo Alto studios. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. We are here celebrating the Tech Innovation CUBE Awards in our awards program. We're celebrating the winners, and the competition was fierce. We got a lot of entries, a lot of high caliber companies showcasing their innovation across the tech landscape. Today we're joined by Rich Waldron, co-founder and CEO of Tray.ai, and Alistair Russell, also co-founder and CTO of Tray.ai, to discuss their award-winning entry and the innovation behind it, and how they're driving the innovation forward. Guys, we've got the founders here, and you took the most innovative automation product, which, by the way, is huge honors because everyone's automating. It's the top kind of Gen AI, pre-agentic, and soon to be very key as part of the platform engineering and agentic system. So congratulations to both of you guys and the entire team.
Thank you very much. Yeah, huge pleasure for us to be here and receive this award today. So thank you very much for having us.
We had 43 judges, and I think we'll have more next year, and the community loved it. Again, we're going to do another one. You know, as you're always worried about inaugural events, will it be the last? So congratulations, but there will be another one, and you guys are in the first class of winners. So let's just jump in, guys. Innovation has been central to this awards. Can you share how you guys approached the challenges in the market in the innovative way, and just give us an impact example, quickly set the table?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the key point here is automation, as you already alluded to at the start of this conversation, has basically had to completely rethink itself. You know, as you think about sort of traditional iPaaS and deploying integrations and automations within organizations, AI has come and completely sort of rewritten the book for everybody, and really every process is up for grabs. And so a huge effort for us and a massive shift this year, and my own sort of personal belief is that iPaaS has evolved. It's already happened. It's already changed. And so we've made a huge effort in making AI central to our automation experience, from an agent perspective, as well as kind of AI infused or driven workflows.
Alistair, any point from the CTO perspective? Obviously, you guys are both co-founders. Love the founder action. What's the perspective on the key innovation and impact?
I mean, Rich mentioned it. Yeah, AI is had a big impact, and you know, I mean, personally, I've been interested in AI machine learning for a number of years, and you know, we're thinking about how we could use it and utilize it within automation. And then I think a couple of years ago we launched Merlin, our intelligent agent, the first version of it, and that was sort of unique in the iPaaS market, and it really revolutionized how our customers were building automations, and also thinking about you know, sort of how the future was going to evolve and how it was going to sort of change the way that automations even themselves were running. So yeah, it's definitely key.
Rich, you mentioned iPaaS. Obviously, we've been covering that market for a long time. You mentioned kind of the modern era. Looking back at the journey and the product and the company, what was the key turning point and decisions that helped you guys kind of get that product out there and get that recognition today?
Yeah, there were two kind of key turning points from my perspective. The first one is early on, you know, it was obvious that not only was cloud going to continue to be the dominant force from a application and data layer, but the types of people within each organization, within each department, were becoming inherently more technical. And so iPaaS is something that historically always relied on very sort of heavy set engineers and Java programmers to create very complex solutions. We took the approach of, can we take all of the scalability and all of the complexity that you need to build a great integration and package it in a way that meant you could harness this within an organization much faster, take advantage of all these cloud solutions, and really position ourselves on that wave. And that sort of set us off in the right direction and saw us kind of accelerate through. I think the second order that's occurred is that we made a sharp turn into AI as soon as possible. And what we've heard from our customers and what we've been seeing is the demand for their integrations and the ones that they want to build going forward are considering AI first. And so from an iPaaS perspective, it's not good enough just to be an iPaaS anymore. You've got to be an iPaaS that can handle AI workloads, that supports AI capabilities and provides these things natively out the box. And it's changed the way that CIOs are operating and thinking about the platforms that they have within their own organizations.
You know, I always use the music analogy a lot when I talk about some of the cool things going on with runtime. You know, anything that's runtime, certainly Gen AI kind of fits the category. Orchestrator and composer, right? Those are kind of key people in in music, right? And we're playing a lot of AI music right now. You look at, say, Kubernetes, big orchestration role that plays there. You mentioned integrations because I love that you guys have that whole composition positioning of integration, because composable apps, I've always loved that term because it's always been hard to integrate, but can you guys share some of the things you're doing with the integration? Because we're seeing enterprise AI adoption in areas where there's domain-specific knowledge, end-to-end workflow, process knowledge, and then integrating it all together always has been hard. And if you guys can also comment on what the customers are doing, because remember, they bought a lot of tools, they've had a lot of platforms, and sometimes they don't want to let go. Right? So now they might change a process, but our research shows that, hey, you know what? Process management and changing processes is better than swapping out tools. I mean, nobody wants to change tools if they don't have to. So these are like market forces. Can you guys comment on and share your reaction to that? And do you believe that or what?
Yeah, I think you touched on a really important point there, which is the best performing organizations that we see and the most forward-thinking CIOs that we work with, they think about creating their own experience layer within their organization. And the tools can change, the services can change, even the underlying data can change. But if you construct these things in a composable manner where you figure out what the process is, it becomes really easy to swap in and swap out solutions. And so we've seen a big drive from customers in consolidating the tools that they already had in their stack and trying to reduce down the number of applications that they have. And on the flip side, because they've structured and built their organizations in a composable way, it means that they're the ones that can innovate and use agents the quickest. And as I'll ask Ali to comment on in just a second, what that enables is once you've got the data in the right place, once you've got that composition set up, then you can actually go and harness these agents to act across the entire organizations rather than being single-threaded. And that's the key component that we've seen with customers. Ali, I know that a lot of the work you've been doing in setting up some of the tooling and the things like adding vector data support to the product has meant that customers are set up to go and continue to take advantage of AI thanks to composition. Maybe you could comment on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned orchestration and composing and those sort of two terms, but I also like to think of sort of creators and consumers when it comes to composability. We have people within the business that are way more technical, that can sort of create sort of composable assets that others within the business can consume, and that's even more important in the agentic space, where we're starting to sort of have companies build agents. The tools that the agents use, they are composable building blocks. They are connected to different systems. They have a sort of a single purpose, and non-technical people can come in and start building agents that by picking and choosing the composable building blocks off the shelf. So composability is a hugely important part of both the automation space and the future of agents as well.
Yeah, everyone uses the Lego blocks example. I love that, kind of having just putting the package together. Rich, you mentioned single-threaded. Can you just share for the folks watching, what single-threaded means, and then obviously what multi-threaded means? I mean, now my processor brain goes off, but putting that aside, like, is that a process issue, workflow, people? What is single-threaded versus what?
Yeah, I mean, it's applicable to everything. In the way that I was describing it, I think of this as the solutions that you purchase, right? So if you think you're a CIO or a senior person within an organization, you're looking at your technology strategy. Your options today are, we have to go and take advantage of AI. We have to get the movement going within ourselves as an organization because it's pertinent to innovation. So in order to do that, do we go and buy lots of individual AI solutions that we deploy across an organization? And then do you become the de facto AI referee who has to manage and handle the governance and the capability of all these different solutions? Or do I go and turn on the AI for every application I've already got and still play that same role? And this idea, kind of coming back to composition, is if you set things up correctly and you structure them in such a manner, you can go and build these multi-threaded agents that can go and take action across the entire stack without requiring independent governance on a per application basis. It gives you a centralized way to go and operate. And the companies that move quickest, the ones that we're seeing who have adopted that mindset, they're flying right now. And it's exciting to see the speed that really large enterprise organizations are actually operating at with this new technology.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things people are looking for. They want low-hanging fruit. They want wins out of the gate
Yeah.
with AI. Can you guys share any kind of wins you're seeing with your customers with the product? Obviously, automation drives a lot of free time and or value shift. Can you
Yeah.
share a little bit of some of the successes?
Yeah, I was actually just on a call with the CIO of Zura last week, and he sort of shared that using Tray agents and a combination of other sources, they reduced the number of tickets their IT team processed or the IT agent processed by 3x in less than 6 months. So if you think about that just from a volume perspective and just from a gained productivity perspective, there's a direct measurable outcome to harnessing knowledge across an entire stack, being able to take action across multiple applications, and then applying it to a business problem that every organization has. In the same vein, we see lots of organizations doing things like auto-generating the first pass at marketing content, using voice and using pre-existing content and ingesting knowledge to go and do that, all the way through to sales processes, handling things like RFPs or carrying up on next steps based on outcomes. All of these things are data points that we have that were impossible to reason over, historically, and now that's moving organizations in the right direction very fast.
Alistair, weigh in on this because every company has a team that evaluates. How are the tech guys loving this? How are the tech teams? Obviously, you take the Jira tickets. That's an easy win. Boom, knock that out right away. When they start getting into, wow, I got more time to drink beer, which is I've heard on theCUBE before, which is basically code words for I'm going to work on cooler things. What's the reaction on the tech side on the adoption? Is there any objection? How does it roll out? Take us through a day in the life of the teams that evaluate Tray.ai.
I mean, it's modern technology. There's always that sort of that initial kind of rollout, and the reaction is different depending on different people. But to be honest, I think the reaction we've seen from most technical people is this is incredibly powerful. Like they're seeing the value of it. There's even from a kind of co-pilot perspective, the ability to sort of enhance your sort of day-to-day productivity with AI, and even our engineers at Tray, they use co-pilots to sort of help them code, and it's not replacing their creativity, it's not replacing the sort of the stuff they do, it's enhancing it, it's making them sort of that mythical kind of 10x engineers. And we're seeing the same across our customer base, that people are getting more done, and that's key for sort of fast growing businesses. They need to be as fast and sort of adapt to changes as quickly as possible, and technology like automation, and especially combined with AI, is really helping that happen. And the best companies, are adapting and embracing them basically.
Yeah, you get more engineering, the 10x a year, but also the business transformation is the 10x business input too. So we're seeing a lot of the examples. So guys, I want to just kind of focus in on one thing while I got both of you here. Every successful company has their own kind of secret sauce. What would you say is the most distinct aspect of your approach that's enabled you to push the boundaries and achieve this award and just a success?
I think the key for us is we are a extremely product-driven organization. We've got the classic founding story, and there are 3 founders. I was the bad engineer, and you're lucky to have the good engineer on this call as well. And I think we took an approach at the time that was very different to the ways that you would go and deploy automation, right? It was far more experience driven. It tried to abstract away a lot of the challenges. We built our architecture in a completely different way so that every execution was handled individually rather than the classic container model. And all of those things together have meant that as AI has come sort of tour de force, we're perfectly set up to handle prompt engineering. We're perfectly adaptable to all of the changes that have occurred in the market. And we kept this ever evolving approach to the way that we develop product and stayed right on the pulse of it, that I think really kind of underpinned the difference that our customers feel when they use us as a AI ready iPaaS versus, maybe some of the more legacy vendors that are out there.
Alistair, you want to weigh in on this too?
No, I agree. I mean, I agree with what Rich said. I think that as sort of founders and as part of our story, we were open to change. We were open to adapt as well. We spent a number of years really focusing on both the user experience of the product and also the scalability. We knew we needed to build an enterprise-ready platform that could handle the scale of billions of transactions a month. And we've really focused on that balance, and I think that's really sort of put us in a good position. Adopting standards making sure that there's the sort of composable architecture has allowed us to really move fast ourselves as we've innovated in the last couple of years, especially with the the AI revolution.
Well, great to have you guys across the pond, all the way to California. Here in Palo Alto, we got our New York City studio on the NYSE. We'll certainly have you over there soon. Final question. What's the origination story? You got 3 founders. Rich, you got the short straw to be CEO. Tell us what's happened. I'm only kidding, by the way, but it's just
no. I mean,
tell us the story.
It's a classic founding story in that we were working on solving slightly different problems within different organizations, and I was writing these scripts that would carry out the functions for people that we weren't able to hire or didn't have. And like many of the scripts that I wrote 12 years ago, whilst they were very valuable, they often failed. APIs were more brittle, the solutions were much harder to use. And so Ali kind of coming in and cleaning up that mess and saying, look, there's a better way to do this. There's so much power trapped in these applications that is almost hindered by the UI. What if we could create a better way to go and compose and create these experiences? And so we approached it from that perspective, which is, how do you unlock an amazing capability and set of power within an organization without all of the burden that comes with, deploying applications and trying to scale things and all the challenges that any engineer will tell you about, which isn't the construction, it's the ongoing maintenance. And so as we were driven to solve that problem, it led us just to approach it in a different manner. And I think, it's a product that we dearly love and a challenge that we, continue to enjoy solving.
Alistair, you mentioned APIs are brittle. I can almost see the scripts crashing in my mind's eye there. But, even now APIs are critical infrastructure. 80% of the, interactions are through APIs. Now you got Gen AI. Things are behind the APIs. So this is critical infrastructure. You mentioned scale. I mean, pre-agentic mode we're in, agents are happening, starting to see them roll out, but, they're going to have sub-agents. We cover that deeply at SiliconANGLE and theCUBE. How important is platform engineering and having that foundation to bring in the army of agents that are coming?
I mean, it's absolutely critical. I mean, it's key that, one of the first customers we ever had while we were building the platform was throwing billions of sort of, events at us every month. I think they would spike at the end of the month, and I think they did a load of sort of financial reconciliation or something along those lines. And, we had to be ready for it. So I think we learned sort of out in the trenches in many ways. We learned from the beginning that, we needed to handle this sort of scale, and the platform was built, as Rich mentioned. We didn't take a typical kind of architecture route. We didn't try and bundle things up. We sort of came about or sort of matured at the time of containerization, Kubernetes, things like that. But we built essentially a sort of a distributed messaging system to ensure that we could handle that sort of scale as the platform was adopted more widely. And it really sort of has helped us, especially with the agent and AI future.
Rich, Alistair, thanks for coming on. Congratulations for winning the most innovative automation product. Congratulations, and welcome to the inaugural first class of the CUBE Awards. You've been CUBE. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, John.
All right, take care, guys. I'm John Furrier here in the Palo Alto studios for the CUBE Tech Innovation Awards, the CUBE Awards. We're celebrating the winners. Thanks for watching.